Hello, this is a divination dose for all signs, all souls, however you resonate. So if you'd like a little inspiration, here's some sage for you as well if you'd like to draw that in. Here's the scroll we're going to utilize to inspire our meditative state. Scry for messages. Feel free to take a screenshot so you can scry in your own time and terms for shapes and symbols that speak to your psyche and psychic senses.
Granddaughter.
We're going to add on tarot and oracle. And as well, we have GhostTube here kicking for any audio additions that may inspire or irritate. You know the drill. Receive or release freely, of course. So I'd like to thank you for joining me. I'm STEPH. If you'd like to open or fast forward through, you got the power. And take a moment to close the eyes, cleansing the palette of perception, releasing the race and the rush, activating the abstract mind and ancient awareness to perceive and receive symbolic support. Okay, when you are ready to open the eyes, gaze upon the ink blot, allow it to become alive with the senses, and see what symbols and shapes from a macro or micro space. You know, you can zoom in if you're on a phone.
Hunger.
But I'm going to dig in here. I'm seeing like a snowman. Like, all in all, I'm seeing a snowman. The snowman feels rugged and ragged. Oh, do you know how when people are like carving things, I don't know if it's carving, creating with like clay, what is that? I'm trying to think of like high school ceramics class. It's like the sludge or the sluice or something. I don't know. It's like really watery. Okay, so even like with ice carving, then they'll add water to smooth out any edges. So I feel like if there's any sort of melt going on, which is interesting because I'm working on another tapestry that refers to that, and that'll come up soon. But it might have something to do with that. And like if you're feeling your energy is a little disheveled, or perhaps it's the collective energy emanating a disheveledness, I feel as though in this moment you might be the sluice or the water, or whatever else, if you can creatively think or apply it in your own context, that would, you know, even like icing on a cake, it goes on and then you slowly spin it to smooth it. I think you might be a smoother, and vice versa, or going and simultaneously smoothing and smoother, not smother, smoother. Interesting. I'm also seeing the Hamburglar from Ronald McDonald. So it's like eating a hamburger, and that's right like up here in the mouth. So that comes up with like the hunger, at least the hunger that I was sensing. But I feel as though, how do I explain this sensation? Because I'm hungry, but it's not necessarily for food, the typical nutrients that you would apply in your day-to-day life. My left ear is ringing. It's this weird, I say weird only because I personally can't discern if it's within or without, because it's probably both, or there's just a sensitivity to it, and that's okay. So this hunger within, it's
come closer.
Like I want to do good. I want to interact, or okay, as we are here together, receiving inspirations and insights individually and interconnected. And it's through the heart space. This screen of the heart space of sharing. Is that, yeah, we're going to say that. That's fun. Okay, so the iScry screen is the screen of sharing of heart expressions and exchanging those inspirations, right? We're not looking to agree or disagree. Everyone's right. And you can wander into that because it's personal. But then there's a giving out, right? So here we are giving out, and then you'll go about your day, your week, your month. Spirit will, or the spirit of things, including yourself, will bring back symbols in your day, your week, your month, and you'll recognize, you'll receive, and then you'll give out. And how you decide to give out feeds like hungry. So when I'm wandering out, the hungry collective, what they might be hungry for. But I'm getting like this gnawing sensation that there might be like I want to say like an aggressive hunger, because it's coming at me like on this side, on my right side. So for me, that's my dominant side, being right-handed. So it's coming up on my strength side. Like Okay, so within, it's like I'm hungry, not hangry. I'm hungry for more strength building, and that could even be amongst stretching, spreading out, right? Spreading out the heart space of giving, because the receiving's coming in and the giving's going out. And I'm like spreading this out. But this aggression over here, it's almost like I'm going to be creepy about it, but if you're new to me here, the creepy is, it's just an edge. I don't know. Think like Tim Burton versus horror movie. That's probably like my happy place. Anyway, so this hungry, it's aggressive, and it kind of feels like zombies where they want planet, like they want brains or they want whatever it is. I don't really want to tap into it to understand it because I'm aligning, but I'm compassionate, but it's not my responsibility. There's responsibilities over there that are undigested and left, and it feels like that's what they're hungry for is, and like, that came in really, really fast. So I'm just going to take a moment here. The irony that there's this hunger for flesh and brains, whatever, being creepy, but hopefully you can, place that in more positively, to assume from others. But really what I'm seeking and looking for, being in like this undead aggression that is hungry, is for it, because I'm seeing it like unassumed responsibilities floating around, but it's like if they just ate what and maybe looked at what's been digested, or these responsibilities, these things, these creations, and that's not good enough. It's like I don't want to look at my own plate. Does that make sense? I hope this isn't coming off as harsh as it may come off. Anyway, it feels aggressive. So being a smoother of the self. So I feel as though, like, oh my goodness, I haven't even opened my eyes. It's like I'm right in here with like this nose to nose of sorts. And in the olden days, I know I've spoken about it before, and you would think that I would remember what they were called, but I don't always remember things in a catalog, a little Rolodex of words. Like back in the day, was it like the doctors or the morticians would wear those masks with the long beaks so they could put herbs in them? And plagues, maybe it's a plague mask or something along that lines, so that they would be smelling, whatever, peppermints, rosemaries, versus the stank of it. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing in there, and it's like nose to nose. Okay, so this is so this is like where I'm feeling it's like you and I here together.
Angel.
And we are like, not nose to nose in a face off. Again, that's like the aggressive way. We are looking right at each other. And it's almost as if not so much in the nose of like of what's happening over in this aggressive, hungry energy, because we ourselves are also hungry for existence, to give meaning to life, to give meaning to this ink blot, to give meaning to whatever it is that we are experiencing, but also just releasing the angst to control it. So I feel as though we're here nose to nose, which really that long nose thing is in our space, like our aura. And it's like we've attracted towards each other in this very, very moment. And it's like, how like when a dog or a cat meet somebody new and they kind of do that sniff around, and because of these herbs or whatever in there, it's like an indication. You're like, oh, you're sensing it too, eh? You're sensing it too. I'm so Canadian. You're sensing it too, eh? Yeah, you're sensing it too. And there's some sort of appreciation for that. And as the nose thing is extending out, you can feel the spreading of the heart space between us. Does that make sense? Because it's a safe place to kind of, spread out and relax, and really to receive in reciprocity, but retaining responsibility. Does that make sense? I feel like it does. It feels well, at least within me. So that's where that's coming from. Okay. I'm wandering down here, and I think, okay, so there's a few things coming through. I'm seeing Clifford the big red dog. Okay, there's also angel wings right in there. See like this figure right here? And then it's almost like I could see it like a devilish horns, but I'm actually seeing it as like an angel. And something about the angel of death. But I feel as though, again, if you're new to me here, I generally, unless it's very clear, personally will try and look at the totality of that, right? Every soul space has a role and responsibility that is currently their lesson of learning, that is currently their landscape of learning. I don't want to use the word lesson. No,
Louder.
that was absolutely incorrect. Landscape of learning. Okay, so there's something about, oopsie, didn't mean to shake that. So this bigger being, it's almost like it, again, I feel very personal in this reading with you, viewer, whoever you are. And if you're still with me, thank you so much for being here, for like, sharing, and subscribing, and all that kind of good stuff. You truly warm my haunted heart, and I feel like you know that. Okay, so let's place you, if you're resonating, or I can, even place myself in there. And then see how there's helpers. And then Clifford the big red dog. This big red dog feels like love, feels like passion. It feels like loyalty. And I want to say loyalty to a cause. But then I feel like when I say that, I step into potentially conflict, because it makes me, what I'm feeling, somebody's enemy. And I don't, that's not my intention. So I kind of hesitate. And again, I hesitate over here by me choosing by and by, somehow I wonder, I don't know that I want to, I don't want to commit to it. I'm right here with you, like thinking about it. Does that by and by make me an enemy of this? But I hold compassion, but I can't extend sympathy, because I understand what there's hunger for. Turn around. That's what it makes me feel like. I lost my train of thought in there, but hopefully that made sense somewhere along the lines. Okay, I'm going to keep going. So nonetheless, it's like as one being steps forward, okay, it's like your heart space, right? It's coming forward, because I'm also seeing frogs and frog legs, but I'm seeing it from a bird's eye view down. Something about, okay, yeah. And then when I look off to the side here, like see this, there's that nose, there's the other nose, there's a nose and a nose. There's like a face, a sleeping cap, something about sleeping. Yeah, there's the neck, something in the throat, something in the throat. It's like a ninja star, at least from as the way I'm viewing it. It looks like a ninja star.
Drip.
Okay, sorry, I'm going to come back down here. Clifford the big red dog. We also had here the Page of Pentacles come through. If that means anything to you. See, it's right in that heart space. Okay, so I'm seeing tree pose and yoga. The lovers coming together. This is that coming together. The frequency of love. Not lust, not affection, not infatuation or obsession. The frequency of love that you can almost smell. And yes, through this, jaggedness over here, it's almost as if they have a love for something too, but they call it that, but I feel like it's a lust. And again, I'm being very mindful with my words, and I'm coming into like that sharp, what is a neck?
I remember.
Neck choker? I feel like I'm being very mindful with my words, like I'm almost being choked out, but I'm also in this moment aware of my responsibility to my reflection. So yes, there's a safe place for you and I to coalesce in open conversation, in open imaginations, insights, intellectual as well, of course. But once that safe place, it's not that we don't carry it, carry it above and beyond, but it's like, okay, when this video is done, when this moment is done, and okay, thank you, have a great day, I do need to be mindful still of my responses and my reactions to others that may be aggressive. At the same time, giving and discerning the giving without controlling it, realizing that does this make sense? Like I'm just walking around with like all these wheels of hearts, and it's like the drum. I think that makes sense. I think it makes sense. So whatever it is that one might be receiving at any point in time, it doesn't have to be in this video. It's just the moment that I'm trying to stay present in. The giving is like the full circle of communion or connection. So it's complete and it's not stagnant. It's when like we receive, contemplate, of course, consider, assuming the responsibility, and then giving. If we get stuck somewhere, it's a holding back. It's a holding back, and as soon as I said that, there's some sort of judgment. There's a judgment. I'm in, like somewhere I don't know what it is, but I know I'm hesitating because of a judgment, whether that judgment is intelligent or a block, but then it's like an artery, a heart artery, it creates a block.
Book.
There's something also about courage coming through. Okay, I'm going to keep going here. This could even be about like the masculine and the feminine coming up. Oh, see, when I have it on the table, it all gets shaky. I apologize. It's like the earth shaking. All right. Got the moon here as well coming out. Yeah, this is in this realm. The dark and the light, the this and the that. I think I might wait to flip it for another reading. So if that's good, another divination dose. It's like, see these two faces when I wander over here? It's like they're peeling apart, making more space in this triangle. And there's like this, I'm seeing it like a mushroom. And again, it's being protected, but the mushroom is reminding me of like the mycelium, the connectiveness, the veins. Okay, so this is in nature why I saw tree pose in this card very specifically. So the seed wanders down and deep within the dark, and that is the foundations in which the trees can grow. Because like say you're watching a tree grow, and the forest is full of all of us at different stages, different landscapes, different levels, whatever the case may be, right? Okay, so but I'm seeing like a large tree as a canopy and then a smaller tree. And though it might appear that this large tree is hiding the sun from this small tree, rising, towering over it, being a bajillion years old or 50 years old, I don't know, whatever it is. And there's the seedling trying to grow up, and it's like you can feel bad for the little seedling and blame the big old tree and be like, you were hiding the sun for this little tree to grow. Now, absolutely, pruning along the way is intelligent so that the big tree grows to optimally, right? And it's not carrying excess branches as it explored every degree or level, let's say, or expansiveness of the airspace while it's working towards the sun, right? The horizontal, the within, the without, the above and below, the within and without, the whole compass. Okay, that circle feeling of its whole heart being expressed out. I wonder if sorry if I'm talking really, really fast. Okay, but I don't want to blame the big tree because it's actually creating conditions because it was pruned along the way, little bits by little bits, accordingly to its own, maybe squirrels came and took things, birds came and took things, letting nature, do its thing. It's creating foundations to believe in the strength of that little tree to rise up. It's not hindering the sun by any means. It's not hindering the conditions. It's actually protecting it. It's protecting it so that in its growth state, when it reaches perhaps the same height, and that big tree is well gone and takes its place, it will be strong. It's the same as like the wind. When the wind
Thank
is
you.
moving, you're welcome, trees and stuff, it's also strengthening it. You know, we don't get all angry at the wind for blowing around. The trees learn, right? Does that, maybe I'm making this up and that's fine, but that's the way it's coming through. I'm going to get ready to close out here. So we have the snowman, that is a smoother. Smoothing some rough edges, pouring some water on, taking a look at your icing, whatever the case is. And when I say like
Come
the
closer.
cake icing, I'm seeing it as like chakra colors. So maybe if you like put in, can envision a cake of some sort, in maybe whatever area, or exchanging cake, consciousness cake with others, and you realize as you give a piece of cake, you in turn receive a piece of cake, so you're always with a whole cake. I feel like that makes sense. I don't know. All right, and that comes into the Hamburglar as well. Let there be cake. Let there be cake. All right, thank you. So I have here morning. Oh, I don't even know why. Why did I say that? Oh, morning dew. Okay. Brothers of the Rose and a reunion. See, this is everyone gathering. The reunion with the lovers.
I'm trying.
New insights are coming through, or the way consciousness, and if you're here with me, so it's creative consciousness, collaboration, connection, and communication. It's expanding beyond the habits of autopilot, not because that doesn't serve. It's just something else to consider. There's definitely sacred masculine here that's been coming through. Maybe you have some, this is the protection to, okay. So as say the feminine energy wanders into the sea of souls out of consciousness, it is the masculine energies of, say, the brotherhood that offers the protection, so that your feminine energy, your you know what I'm saying, can go freely. See, it even says collaboration, partnership, and friendship in here. Soul recognizing soul. Sorry that I have like a crazy amount of ink in my fingers and I'm like struggling to get it out, but it is what it is. The artist way. Soul recognition. When we were talking about that nose to nose, soul recognition. Also back into the mycelium that's being protected. So one thing is growing and there it is. Oh, see, but even Jack and the Beanstalk, there's more than one magic bean. There's more than one magic bean. Morning Dew and Mother Rose. Oh my God, this is fantastic. And I'm really going to try and get my least dirty ink nails out of there. It's like being a mechanic. Just sometimes it's really, really hard. Mother Rose, returning to each other, compassion, humanity.
Why are you here?
So the feminine energy is here, and then the brotherhood as well, the masculine energy. It's handing off, not handing off. When I see the Page of Pentacles, I'm thinking about that tree again. And when that younger tree is in its landscape of learning, it will become the big tree, the canopy.
Can you help me?
The canopy of compassion. And I think that's what's being done, is help. In the event, the old trees, the in-between trees, different seasons. There's a reason why plants and flowers and everything has their seasons. So there's always something in bloom, and not one tree, plant, element of organicness. A snowman is not always melting because it's always winter somewhere. Does that make sense? Morning dew, clarity, a fresh start, a positive outlook. And for many of us, if we feel, especially when there's like this, other energy that is working differently. Okay, differently. I don't want to apply a judgment to it. It's just different. That's their learning landscape, soulfully chosen for one reason or another. And while I am compassionate to that, I'm very careful to choose compassion versus sympathies, because sympathies, I feel like, draws in a sorrow. And then when I draw in a sorrow, I feel like I'm actually feeding it. And then sorrow draws into the bone marrow, like it goes in deep.
He told me.
So the smoothing part of the positive outlook, as I'm seeing this snowman, that's kind of might be like, oh, what's going on here? What's going on? It's like suddenly that snowman is water that is looking and sniffing out for other beings.
Make a noise.
Other beings. And I think that you have found them, or you find them in people, places, or things where you receive from them. But then you also give in your day-to-day very local love, whatever that means for you. I hope this served. I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much for being here. I truly am grateful. Yeah. Thank you. And we'll do it again. And we'll flip it for another day and time.